Welcome to the Leadership Purpose with Robin podcast. I'm your host, Robin L. Owens, PhD, and this is where we dive in each week to give advice, tools, and tips for high-achieving women leaders, and we talk about leadership purpose and its importance for you. I am a college professor, and when I am not doing that, I am speaking, writing, coaching, mentoring, and teaching high-achieving women leaders how to find, and not only find, but how to stay in alignment with their leadership purpose so they can make a meaningful difference right there in their career, leadership, or business. Okay, let's dive in. Hi, everybody. I am here with Sandra Summerhayes, and I have the honor and privilege of spending time with her today. She's the founder of the Sandra Summerhayes and Associates, which is a training and development company that she started 21 years ago. There, she designs and facilitates training for many organizations across Canada and beyond. It's her mission to help leaders succeed, and she's been doing this in her entire life. Welcome, Sandra. Glad you're here today.
Thanks, Robin. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's good to see you, as always. All right, so let's start. Let's just jump right in. Just tell us a little more about what you do.
Okay. I have two major streams in what I do. So I facilitate and design sessions for leadership development, but also career development. I actually started off my career as an employment counselor. And so I did that for about 12 years and also a workshop facilitator, same time. And then I became a training manager for a gaming establishment and then started my own business. So it's kind of nice now to marry both of those backgrounds, the career development, like employment, and also leadership as well. So those are the two major things that I work on.
Yeah, it's great that you have those two kind of lanes and they merge together because now you have more to even offer than you did before. Yeah.
It's true. Absolutely true.
Yeah, that's great. Tell us something you enjoy most about your work and why.
I think the best part is engaging people on a day-to-day basis to learn more about themselves, more about other people. They learn from each other. They share best practices. And if I can help that in any way to facilitate that process, that's what I love. And in the meantime, I'm also kind of building relationships with them, which is really important to me. And so it's, every once in a while you get that little light bulb that goes off and you can actually see that in someone. And I think that that's kind of the reward that I get from doing what I do.
Yeah, that sounds great. Do you have an example of one of those moments? If not, it's okay, because I know I'm just kind of springing this on you, but one of those moments that really lit you up.
I do actually. Today, I actually facilitated a session already, and I had a group of 6 women, and we were actually working on the power of teams. It was a training session all about teams. And what was really interesting to me is that we were going through some models, some team models, and one of them was Tuckman's different levels of teams. And so the norming, storming, forming, that type of thing. And so what was interesting is I had the groups actually kind of present information and teach each other about these different team models. And this one woman, as she was going through, all of a sudden it dawned on her that the last team that she actually became part of, and this was this last team that she worked with, she went through each one of these steps and levels. And so it was really interesting because for her, it was like a big aha, like, wow, I can't believe that actually happened. And then she could apply it immediately. So I think that was really a cool thing that happened. And I think it's a good example.
Yeah, it is. It is great. So she had that aha moment because she had actual experience from doing that very thing.
She did. She absolutely did.
That's great. It sounds like you have a real passion for teams and helping leaders and teams work well together.
I really do. I think, it's not always easy to work in teams. There's personalities that come into play. There's, different experiences that come into play, different values that come into play. But I think that, in helping people get to know each other within the team, their strengths, their areas of, maybe, I hate to say the word weakness, but maybe areas for improvement, but they get to know each other from a different perspective. And when they understand where people are coming from, then they can kind of draw on those strengths. And I think they make much more effective teams.
Yeah. And I'm sure now there's so many teams who are working remotely and from home and that kind of thing, I'm sure they are benefiting from your wisdom. So now you have a lot of experience and expertise in this area. What's some advice or some tips or some helpful hints you would offer to a leader of a team or the teams, however you want to frame it?
I think the best piece of advice that I can give a leader is to build meaningful relationships with people. And I think, it's being curious and genuinely interested in people and really listening to what people have to say, because they will give you so much information if you just really kind of listen to them. And I think, just to take the time also to reflect on themselves and to learn more about themselves as well. So I think that those are the two major things: build relationships to get to know people, but also to take time to reflect, to get to know yourself as well. Because I think it always starts with self-awareness, and then that leads to team awareness.
Ah, I love that. Self-awareness leads to team awareness.
It does.
Yeah, that sounds like sound advice. In my own work, I've been thinking about this idea of leadership purpose. So when I say the term leadership purpose, what comes to your mind?
I think the first thing that comes to mind, I guess, is I'll quote Simon Sinek, and that is to kind of know your why, like your real purpose for why it is that you're doing what you're doing. Like, what is that passion? And, what is it that, really fits my values? And, a lot of that is really tied to my own self-esteem and self-identity as well. So I think leadership purpose is really understanding why you're doing what you're doing. And I think by doing that, it becomes like it's not work. It's something that you just enjoy doing. And to get paid for it is like a huge bonus. It's just the actual doing of it that's so great.
Yes, it is. And this question is, you kind of answered it, but go ahead and say a little more about it. You think it's important for a leader to have discovered and know their leadership purpose, and then why?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you really need to understand, as I said, why you're doing what you're doing, because then your passion kind of shows through. And I don't know if you think about people that you've listened to and you think, wow, they're so passionate about what they do and they really understand what they do. You just really want to listen to them. You want to work with them. You want to be their team member, or you want to be their boss, or, whatever level you're working with. I want to, volunteer with them, whatever it is, because that passion just really, really shines through. So if you have a really good understanding of your purpose, your leadership purpose, then I think people around you will want to be led by you. I think that's the thing. And you'll be able to influence and persuade people so much more easily, I think, than when you don't really understand like why you're doing what you're doing, because then it's just a job. And I think your leadership purpose is more about who you are and what you want to contribute to the world.
Yeah. And it can't go wrong with that. It sounds like you just can't go wrong with that.
It's true.
That's wonderful. Sandra, I know you have so many ways that you can help leaders and teams, and more than we can do in this short time that we have today. So if people want to get in touch with you and they want to know more and hear more from you, how can they get in touch with you?
They can go to my website. It's just sandrasummerhayes.com. And so they'll learn a little bit more about me, but there's also a contact page as well. And I will get back to them as soon as I can. So best way.
That sounds great. Well, I'm so glad you took the time out of your busy schedule, helping all these leaders succeed, to share more insights and wisdom for the leaders who are listening to us today. And for anyone who wants to get in touch with Sandra, tell us again your contact information.
sandrasummerhayes.com.
There you go. And if you want to get in contact with me, I am Robin L. Owens at robinlowens.com. And my work revolves around leadership purpose. And so we are both here for you. Sandra, thank you for your time. And I wish you all continued success with all the work that you're doing.
It was my pleasure, and right back at you, Robin. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Leadership Purpose with Robin podcast. If you enjoyed it, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week, and I can't wait to hang out with you again soon. Meanwhile, this is Robin signing off. See you next time.